What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. At what level does incompetence reach malice? This is the question that everybody is asking right now about the Donald Trump assassination attempt on Saturday, where a Joe Biden donor was allowed to, and you're literally looking at him right here, a Joe Biden donor with a AR-15 and a ladder is able to just wander around the Trump rally without anybody stopping him. In fact, Secret Service had eyes on him for over an hour, we now have learned, and nobody did anything. They allowed Donald Trump to take the stage now in a remarkable, in the greatest security failure, arguably in American presidential history. This man was able to put a bead on Donald Trump and then to take shots at Donald Trump. And they knew about him for an hour ahead of time.
It's a briefing today. You got some information about what happened, Aisha?
Dana, good afternoon to you. We just got a big information dump, and some of it is deeply, deeply troubling. So I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through this. Just bear with me here. A lot of notes that I'm going to look at here. Just about a couple minutes ago, these senators came out of this briefing with Secret Service. They've been asking for it for days now. Finally got it with the director and Secret Service staff. And the top headline that has come out of it, according to Senator John Barrasso, just spoke to him as soon as he hung up on this briefing. He said that apparently the Secret Service had identified as a character of suspicion this man, this shooter, because they saw a rangefinder on him as well as a backpack. And this all happened more than an hour before the shooting actually occurred. So they saw the guy and they identified this guy as suspicious. Now, more details coming from a source familiar here who was also in the meeting tells me that about 10 minutes before former President Trump went onto the stage, they had gone from looking at this guy as suspicious to now looking at him as a threat. That is coming from this briefing that the senators were in. They were told that Secret Service had called it in to a center that this guy they now identified as a threat about 10 minutes before President Trump walked on stage, and they still allowed him to walk onto that stage. I'm told the Secret Service agent in charge there was on the phone with local and state police about the threat while the shooting was taking place. That's huge. And that is raising a lot of concerns and now major calls for the director of the Secret Service to step down immediately.
Check this out. The director of the Secret Service, when asked why there wasn't an agent on that roof, because obviously you need to put an agent on that roof, idiots. Why wasn't there an agent on the roof? She says because it had a sloped roof. Yet the actual snipers that day were on a roof that was more sloped. This is too slopey, and this is not slopey enough. You know, the White House has a sloped roof, you idiot. Who gave the stand down order? This is the question. Who gave that order? Who said that Donald Trump needed to have the D team or the F team surrounding him that day? Who said President Trump needs to have like the DEIest of DEI Secret Service agents surrounding him that day, who couldn't even holster their weapons? Who placed this individual who's 2 feet shorter than President Trump on his detail that day? Ladies and gentlemen, who didn't secure this obvious building right here? Who didn't do that? A remarkable thing. The head of Secret Service and the leaders of the security detail should resign, says Elon Musk, as videos, of course, of witnesses pour onto the internet of people saying, yeah, dude, we all saw this guy from a mile away. You can literally see him stalking the president right here. There he is, right there. Well, pretty amazing because now the person being stalked by U.S. senators who did not like their briefing is Kimberly Cheatle, who has the height of bureaucratic mendacity, audacity, and hubris to actually show up at the RNC convention. Just remarkable. We were going in and out of the building, and we saw her whisked by us. We were going in and out of a hotel, and we saw her with a huge security detail come flashing by us. Her name's Kimberly Cheatle, and she got absolutely bodied by senators yesterday. Marsha Blackburn and John Barrasso were two of them. Here's what they said.
This is exactly what you were doing today
This
on the
was
call.
an
Stonewalling.
assassination attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump
So this is really interesting tactic here because senators have the right to question figures in. I mean, they have oversight, right, of Article 2 of the Constitution. This is how it works. Senators, Article 1, oversight, Article 2. So Kimberly Cheatle went and effectively was brought into a secure holding location.
I wish Donald Trump would have had this good of a security. The Secret Service is running away from the United States Senate, refuses to answer questions for the American people about the threat on the life of Donald Trump and what they knew, when they knew it, and why they ignored it.
She can run, she cannot hide. We will get some answers.
You know what? I say good, I guess. You know, like I'm watching these kind of clips. Here's how Fox covered it.
You hung up on. We're here. You cut off the meeting short.
Actually, to thank the partners who have helped secure the Republican National Convention, and I was not going to take away from their safety.
Well, we can find a place to go right now.
Yes. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
No, we're going with you.
It was an assassination.
You answer the United States. I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer to us. The answer to us. This is exactly what you were doing today.
This was an assassination attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump answers.
Good for you. Honestly, this is I like seeing this energy from the typically completely and totally neutered Republican Senate, the complete eunuch Republican Senate. Like, I love seeing it. This is great. If this is the new energy where they're actually going to try and hold people accountable and not just like send mean tweets, then fine, good. I'm here for it. Kimberly Cheatle does I cannot believe the hubris of this bureaucrat. This shows you exactly the culture of Washington. What a reptilian, parasitic culture of Washington. That these people, that her having nearly gotten, and on the level of what I believe is criminal malice, gotten the president killed, decides to show up at the Republican convention.
Do you agree with congressional Republicans' assessment that you should resign? Are you not going to answer? The Speaker of the House called on you to resign. Do you have a comment? Are you going to comment?
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. Obviously, the Senate is pissed, as are all Republicans. The Secret Service is now under an enormous amount of fire. This is the statement on the senators demanding questions. Questioning continuity of operations is paramount during critical incidents. The U.S. Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle, has no intention of stepping down. She deeply respects the members of Congress, fiercely committed to transparency and leading the Secret Service through internal investigations, strengthening the agency. So she's not going to step down. You know, there's a way to get her to step down. Marsha Blackburn says Kimberly Cheatle cares more about protecting herself than protecting our nation's presidents. Resign. There's a way to get her to step down. The way is to, elect Donald Trump. And then you fire her on day one, and then you criminally investigate her and charge her for manslaughter, for negligence and manslaughter. This is what you do. She should be charged. She should go to prison. We want answers. Why is Secret Service Director running away from accountability, says Donald Trump Jr. Thank you, Marsha Blackburn, Senator Barrasso. What is the Secret Service hiding? So now we have the Trump kids in on it. Kim Cheatle stepped down. Mike Lee as a senator. Why is Biden protecting Kim Cheatle? Well, because Joe Biden is barely able to move right now. This is Speaker Mike Johnson saying that she needs to step down immediately. Joe Biden is the only person who can actually fire her. We lost American hero on Saturday, and within millimeters of losing President Trump. This is inexcusable. Good. Elon Musk trolling here with the photo of the Cheeto in the lock. A visual approximation of the Secret Service Director's Cheeto foolproof assassination protection strategy. Yeah. Marsha Blackburn has been calling for accountability and is leading the charge here. Silence out of Mitch McConnell. So You know, when somebody asked Mitch McConnell, what did you know and when did you know it? Eric Trump is now saying that the Secret Service effectively, the incompetence, again, this is the age-old question, right? Which is, at what point does incompetence lead, like enough incompetence leads to actual malice, right? So at what point does it cross over from incompetence, as Eric Trump says here, into literal malice, where you are actually like attempting or putting the president in a situation where he's going to get killed? That's sure as hell what this looks like. I just can't believe it. There he is. There's the shooter just wobbling around. Just wobbling around. The building had a sloped roof. Well, now that we've caught her in a lie, what else is she lying about, right? The building had a sloped roof. The shooter's parents called the cops on the day of the Pennsylvania rally saying he was missing. Oh, my goodness. How many more warning signs do you need? Julie Kelly saying, I have a little different take on this performance. The reason Kim Cheatle is entrenched and non-responsive to the hubris and hubristic is because the Senate GOP has done nothing, absolutely nothing, to rein an out-of-control Biden regime. Same clowns that prioritize funding Ukraine over holding corrupt bureaucrats accountable and responsible. Cheap talk at hearings about accountability, no action ever when they have control of the Senate. This is a really great point. I'll let the president's children speak for themselves. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Eric Trump talking about the levels of incompetence seen in the inside of the Secret Service and what it means going forward.
Did you notice your dad a little changed last night?
Yeah, there's no question. There was a humbleness. And, it's honestly, I'm infuriated as I just watch you go through this intro. I mean, my father almost lost his head because of that incompetence. Think about that excuse. Secret Service isn't capable of walking up a roof that has a narrow pitch. My 4-year-old daughter could have walked up that roof, and they let a gunman at 130 yards, which is a chip shot. It's a 4-inch putt. Take a shot at the former president of the United States and very likely the future president of the United States from 130 yards away because they were afraid to step on a narrow roof. That's really her excuse. Jesse, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. It's an act of God that he survived. And honestly, when he walked in here last night, I've never been more proud of the guy in my entire life. I was in tears. I think the entire place was in tears. The cheers were unbelievable. I think he walked in with a graciousness, with a humbleness, probably, thankfulness to be alive. Because honestly, in any other situation, he probably wouldn't be alive. But you hear this nonsense come out of Washington. We deserve better as a country. We deserve a whole lot better than this as a country.
The sloped roof excuse hoax, that's what we're going to be calling it. Your dad apparently ripped up the convention speech after surviving this assassination attempt. And it's going to be different now.
Yeah.
How's it going to be different, and why is it going to be different?
He wanted to be very unifying. He told me that directly. He goes, I want to be incredibly unifying. And listen, I think your eyes, your life probably flashes a little bit before your eyes. It was millimeters away from being game over. And can you possibly imagine what that means for this country? Could you imagine a former president being executed on live TV? I was watching this with my daughter, with my son on my lap at home. The whole country was watching it. The whole world saw those images. That was going to be the image of American greatness. That's what we want to project to the rest of the world, all because of incompetent Secret Service director and a president that does not know his Secret Service director is a female, not a male. This is what we're dealing with. And then you have the personal anger that I have as a son, as a person who absolutely adores the man, as a person who would do anything for the man. I get to watch it on TV because of their incompetence. Jesse, it's unthinkable. I mean, how in modern day world can this possibly happen? But I'm telling you, the love in this room, you see it right now. The love in this room when he walked out was unbelievable.
When you hear about the fact that not only they were cat and mousing this assassin, they were allowing your father to take the stage and stay on stage, what does that tell you? And do you feel safe? Is your father safe for the rest of the campaign?
My heart breaks because I know some of the agents that were around him, and they jumped on top of him, and they would absolutely have taken a bullet for him. And I know these people personally, and they're amazing people. But what happens if this threat was 300 yards away, which isn't a long shot, or 400 yards away is not a long shot in modern terms? Would they have even picked it up at that point? I mean, they don't pick it up at 130 yards. They're not picking it up at 400 yards. So it makes me wonder about the whole perimeter around him. And again, my heart breaks because the people who were on the ground, they did their job, and they could have eaten a bullet too. But it can't happen. We almost lost a great man. We almost lost a great leader, and I truly believe a leader that will go down as the modern-day George Washington, the modern-day Jefferson. I mean, he's in the ranks of those leaders. I really believe that.